Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Estherlife and I'm a health coach and nurse student based in Nigeria. On this channel, I share medical, lifestyle, life fitness measures in simple and clear terms. So on today's episode, we're talking about a very interesting topic called PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So stay tuned if you want to learn about this. I am with someone here and I'm telling you, you're really going to have a breakdown of what PTSD is all about. So stay tuned as we continue. So with me here today is a nursing student. She's a G. She's my friend and helpmate a lot of times to explain things to me, to have knowledge about certain things. She'll be briefly introducing herself, then we go into the video proper. Can we have you?
Thank you for having me. Like I say, I'm really proud of what you're doing, and I guess this is really helping a lot of people. Hello everyone, my name is student nurse Tolulope. I'm here to share my experience on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and how I got to experience such disorder and how I'm able to live with it as well. So I'm hoping for those who don't know what this is, or those who know but don't know how to manage it without having to go to the hospital, this is for you. So just follow through.
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier on, as I said also, our topic today is PTSD. What exactly is PTSD? What exactly is post-traumatic stress disorder?
A neurotic disorder, actually, where a patient or someone who has experienced a very bad event, or someone who has gone through something that they can't get over, they begin to relive that experience in their head, and it affects their daily activities, it affects who they are, it affects their thinking, and it affects their emotions and everything they're all about. Basically, it's just like the word post-trauma. That post is after the trauma, something that happens after the trauma, and then the stress is just about how it has really changed your thinking, or your thinking, your behavior, every part of you. Then the disorder aspect of it is because this thing has affected you negatively in a way that it has now become kind of like a disease, you and to those around you.
All right, thank you very much. I'll share with you the incidents, how often PTSD occurs, and from research, 20% of women diagnosed with breast cancer come up with PTSD, and then we have 10% of women experience PTSD. Women experience PTSD, and I believe basically it's because most ladies, most women they face a lot, especially with different activities. Research has that 10% of women experience PTSD, and also PTSD is usually confirmed after 3 months. If it occurs basically for that space of 3 months, then it is confirmed, and also occurs in children. And so, Toboye, kindly share us your experience. What happened? What led to it? What trauma did you experience? How did PTSD occur, and how we've been able to manage it till this point?
Okay, so what happened was happened some years back, and it was just my mom and I that were at home that day. We had robbers, like his armed robbers. We got attacked by armed robbers. We were basically sleeping. It was in the middle of the night. I can't remember. I think it was in a Sunday, yes, stroke Monday. So it was more or less like we just heard. The first thing we heard was a loud sound. I think they flew over the fence of our house. Basically, this house is in Lagos, kind of choked together. So we came in from the next compound into I just heard that loud sound of people now running and then coming into the compound. So my mom just woke me up like, Tolu, stand up. Ole, I want late today. And that was the first time I was going to experience such. I just heard them going from flat to flat, just banging the door and opening the door. I think they were like 4 or 5. I don't know, because it was dark. There was no light. So they just kept going from house to house, and then they came into us. My mom and I, being the only 2 women in the house that day, we were trying to barricade the door, so probably they won't break in, but they overpowered, and then they pushed us, and my mom fell. I just noticed my mom fell on the floor. I was scared at first then, and okay, now this is about to get real. They're like, the thing I just heard them saying was, your money, your gold, your money, your gold, your phone, your money, your gold, your phone, bring them out now, make it, they carry them out now, money, gold, phone. And I was there, helpless. But at that instant, actually, we have this stress, flight or fright experience. All my adrenaline was just pumping, really pumping. And actually, the things I was doing then, I didn't know I was wondering it. Wow. I just know I was experiencing that flight or fright experience. And what I was doing was I was just like trying to talk them out. Please, we don't have anything at home. Please don't harm us, because they were holding guns. Please don't harm us. We don't have anything in this house. I just kept talking. And then, so my mom on that side, she had her own flight or fright experience, but for her it was different from mine. Her own was just take anything you want. See, look at clothes, take it. Look at the phone. If you want phone, take. Meanwhile, while they were still outdoor, before they break in, I was scared. I still had the adrenaline pumping. So I removed my phones. I removed the battery of my phones. I removed everything. I scattered it around, and I left a very small phone. When they came in, they're like, take care. I was like, take. If you want phone, take this phone. This is the only one we have. You can see we don't have anything in this house. So my mom, and then I was doing this jewelry, wireworks. We call it wireworks. Jewelry, earrings and all. She just gave it to them. Take it. But when I saw my mom giving them those things, I just started dragging it with them.
Really?
It was bad. I didn't know what I was doing, honestly.
Wow.
I won't say. I don't want to say what I was just dragging, because in my mind I was thinking, on my baking in law, they will carry this thing away from me. No, don't carry it. Oh, this is not gold. It is wire. Let me open it for you. It is just wire. It is not real gold. So I started dragging it. So some pot, then they carried the remaining away. They're so like, I will shoot you. They hit my mom with the gun.
Wow.
Yes. So they hit my mom with the gun. I was like, God. She just fell on the leg. Then me on the other hand, I was like, mom, but I was still struggling with them. I don't know what came over me. I was just behaving irrationally. I would say that it was really irrational of me. Then I kept on like that. Then the bag that had my wallet, I was dragging it with him too, because it carried my bag. So he just started pouring everything on the floor. I was not dragging it with him. While I was dragging, I was pouring just that my wallet and everything would fall. They wouldn't take anything. They just carried the bag. The bag was almost empty, so I gave it to them. So they left. Another person came in. Another armed robber came in. Now leave these people now. Why are you torturing them? They don't have anything. Can't you see that they are looking helpless? They don't have anything now. Next time, at the back they passed the back of our phone flat. My mom was like, so my mom was jittering. Make we come back. Make we no. They left. But immediately after they left, that was when my experience came. I started shaking. Like shivering, not just shaking, shivering. I was just, my mom was talking to me. I was just shaking. I just stayed. So other people from other compounds came. Everyone was outside talking. I was inside shaking. People were like, okay, they'll call the police and all that. They'll go and sit there. All of them were doing like, I was just inside. I was shaking. My mom saw me. She started getting scared. The night she didn't sleep. I knew she wouldn't sleep because she kept on. I faced the other side on the bed. She kept on meeting me and just was now like she could say, sharing that. Yes. After that day, I left that house. Yes, that's really one thing about PTSD. There's a form of avoidance of such. At first, you will really want to avoid the situation, because PTSD has 3 cardinals. You re-experience the trauma, you try to avoid the situation, and then the third one, there will be numbness and autonomic activity going on.
What's the first one?
The first one, the 3 clusters of symptoms. Re-experiencing the trauma.
Okay.
The second one is avoidance. Yes, trying to avoid that trauma. Then the third one is numbness and high autonomy activity. When I say autonomic, not autonomy in independence aspect. We know we have this autonomous nervous system where you have high heart rates, palpitations. Yes. So by the time you are re-experiencing the trauma, you will just notice yourself having tachycardia. Your pulse rate will increase. You may end up sweating. You may end up trying to go to the toilet. You may end up breathing very fast. That is, your adrenaline at that instant is working almost the same way it worked when you were experiencing that trauma.
Wow.
Yes. Like all those things that was happening to you that day, you will just keep reliving it. You keep reliving that thing, and while you are reliving it, you keep having all those physiology symptoms of tachycardia, that is increased pulse rate, tachypnea, that is breathing rates. Then you have sweating, you have increased bowel movements. You might want to go to the toilet. You might have nausea, vomiting.
Everything on the high side.
Yes, everything will just be on the high side for you, because your adrenaline is, working to, as if your memory just going, as if you are living that moment at that point. So this is where the problem of PTSD now comes in. That is why that is where the trauma and the disorder aspect of it comes in, because you are no longer your normal self. Your system is now working higher than what it's supposed to be at that instant. You get to do all those things. Then the major aspect of PTSD now, like she said, after it is diagnosed after 3 months. It is that when you when you experience at the first time to experience that trauma, it is called acute stress disorder.
Okay.
Because at that point it is just new. It is just new, and then you have it is possible for you to forget it maybe within 3 months, and you are living your normal life again. People who experience bad things every day, you might see a very gory sight, you might see something very bad, maybe you saw a dead body on the road, you can easily just forget that. You can talk about it later, but it won't affect your body system, it won't affect your heart rate, it won't affect anything. That one is normal, you get. But by the time it's after 3 months and you are still reliving that trauma, your memory, the trauma is embedded in your memory, and you're still reliving it every time, all your body system will just change. That is when it now becomes the PTSD.
Wow, I really learned a lot.
And autonomic activity.
Wow, thank you very much. That's giving overview of what PTSD is actually. What did you do?
At first, I didn't understand what it was. Me too. I was just a novice too. I wasn't doing nothing. I didn't know. I just knew that part of the PTSD, and it is still PTSD for me actually, because I still, when such happens, I still get to shake. Sometimes you find yourself in such situations, or you find yourself in an activity that's occurred in that situation. Let me say, for example, the day that mine happened, the first thing I heard was bang, bang, bang. It's a big, loud bang. Yes, on the door. Now, anytime someone does bang, bang, bang,
it comes back.
I start shaking again.
Become agitated.
Yes, I become really agitated, and all my autonomy activities start working again. I remember what happened. Then I begin to start shaking and start everything high to me. Then I become very restless and confused. Those are things that will just keep occurring to you. What is that? You will try to control yourself, but you can't, because your body is in an override system. So you will just keep living until you now settle down, and it happens. Now I went for that. Whenever I hear the bang bang bang, anybody I meet there, I am going to really lash you. What is wrong with you? Why are you banging the door like that? Some people be like, I just knocked. No, you didn't just knock. You hit it hard. And people be like, why are you overreacting? She's an aggressive person. They won't believe that something happened to me. And that is where it starts affecting those around you, because you start lashing out on those around you. People who care for you, you just start lashing out on them, but they won't understand that. They will think you're just overreacting. So that was what happened. So by the time I started learning, now down to the management, what I did was, without being trying to say, okay, thank God my case wasn't something that I had to go to psychotherapy for, because some people's own are that bad. But what I do at that point, by the time I understood that it was PTSD, I decided to consciously, whenever I hear the bam, although I start shaking, but I try not to overreact. I might not be able to control the shaking because it is epinephrine working at that point, but I can try to control how I react to people. So what I do is I just realize this is just what happened the last time. I close my eyes, this is just what happened the last time, and I just control what I say to people. But however, it gets to a stage where even the autonomous activity that I talked about now, the shaking and everything, sometimes you might get that bad that you might have to start taking drugs. There are medications that you take, but that is the aspect where it has now gotten to the stage that a because the first line of action actually is actually psychotherapy. You get where you have professionals who are therapists, psychologists, clinical psychologists, and all of that, who put you through on how to live your life with that trauma. And there are different types of psychotherapy session, or different types of psychotherapy you can do depending on what your psychotherapist has recommended, or what we know that can work for you. There are cognitive behavioral therapy, there's exposure therapy. They might try to make you relive such case, then they will try and modify your behavior towards it. For example, if probably you were raped, they might decide but that is to the high side. When they see that it's really getting bad, they can decide, let me play a video of someone raping someone, and let's see how you react. When you see such, you can, with that, they will start modifying your behavior towards what they are trying to expose you to, so that you can start relearning again how to live your normal life. It's just a form of therapy. It's just a form of psychotherapy. Like I said, the medications too. They will prescribe the medications for you. I'm hoping you'll do justice to that. They prescribe the medications to you. Then another thing is, it begins with yourself. Because for me, even though I know that I still relive that experience once in a while, the thing that triggered, yes, that's another thing, a trigger, something will always trigger it. That is the PTSD. Always identify your trigger. For me, it is the bang on the door. that is mine. For someone who they raped, it might be a voice. It might be a voice, maybe a male voice. That's why you see some people who have been raped before, and then they don't want to engage in that. It might just because of the male voice they are hearing. That's the trigger for them. So there is always a trigger in PTSD, something that will just do it for you, that okay, this is it. Then you start reliving that experience again. Identifying your trigger is another thing. If you're able to identify something that knows that yes, this is what it is for me, you can try as much as possible to eradicate or try to avoid such trigger, so that you don't get to start misbehaving again. Then, like I said, another thing is controlling yourself. Then you have to get to a stage where you won't avoid the situation, because they will say yes, you have to own up to it. Like, this is it, this is what is happening to me. Because if you keep avoiding it, it will keep coming back. Yes, it will keep coming back to you. That is just basically.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. I've learned, and I'm sure you watching have also learned about PTSD. I have more understanding about what PTSD is all about. So for children, if we want to try to get, if a child is expressing PTSD, the way is such children become clinch to you more, and some of them bedwet, because most time one of the symptoms is having bad dream, so they stay in that dream, they experience it in their head, so they bedwet. So when you see such symptoms for a child, for them, they might not really understand what PTSD is all about. Just helping, assisting them. I hope today's topic was able to reach out to you, teach you more about PTSD is about. So if you know anyone around you who is expressing PTSD, please encourage them. Like she said earlier, it starts with you. Self-empowerment. Tell yourself you can do it. Just help yourself out, so it does not affect those around you. It's beyond you alone, but those around you. Just as she has helped herself to control emotions, even when she hears loud sounds, she's able to control herself so as to help her in things she does. All right, so that will be all for today. So thank you, Nurse Okuboye.
Thank you for having me.
Coming. So having you on my channel is a big deal. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah,
and
really
I hope subsequently be able to have you on this channel.
I'm looking forward to it.
If you are here to subscribe to this channel, please do subscribe, and don't forget to share. Drop your comments. If you have any question concerning PTSD, drop it. I'll make sure I attend to it promptly. Make sure you share, subscribe, comment, all your social media, and do share Estherlife. And remember, healthy smile, elderly. Thank you.